Want to share my screen real quick and then off we go. Can you see the screen?
That's loading up. Yeah.
Okay. So welcome people to the CEG C-Level Connect number 32 program. So today is Sunday, March 31st, 2024, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So guidelines for those of you who are new to the program, please stay muted during the fireside chat session and please turn off your video. I will ask you to open your video during the second half of the program so we can take a screenshot of all the participants. We do this every month in the program. The entire session is recorded and the recording will be available in our public YouTube channel, CEG Connect. We have the recording of all the past 31 programs available for anyone to see. And the audience, if you have any questions, please use the Slido program, which I will introduce Slido in a couple of slides later. But please use Slido program to ask your questions. In addition to asking questions in Slido, there is also opportunity to participate in periodic live polls that I'll be pushing via Slido. Questions about the program, feedback, etc., all that. So please do participate in the poll. And during the question and answer session, if your name is called, if you had asked a question and if your name is called, please unmute, open your video and ask your question to the guest. Okay. So today's session guest speaker is Mr. Karthik Regunathan. He is 2006 EEE from CEG. He's the co-founder and CEO of Chopserve, a retail meat delivery chain in Bangalore and in other parts of the country as well as UAE. I'll be the host. Jaitesh is my co-host, and Partha will be tech support for the program as usual. This is the program today. So Karthik is an alumnus of CG 2006. He went to IIM Lucknow and built a career as a product manager with Headstrong and redBus. He is now the co-founder and CEO of Chopserve, a multi-channel meat and seafood retail chain with 100 plus outlets in India and UAE. So today's program, if you want to join Slido, you can go to any device, mobile, laptop, desktop, a tablet, etc. Go to any browser and type slido.com in your browser button. And once you type slido.com, a screen will come where you'll ask for a code. Please type this code for today, 3709373. 3709373. Partha will be putting this code in the Google Meet chat box periodically for people who join later to get the code. But whoever is joined now, you can go to slido.com and then type in this code in the box where it asks for the code, and you'll be put into a screen like this. You have a Q&A tab and a polls tab. The Q&A tab is where you can ask questions during the program for the guest or the host. And the polls tab is where you can participate in the polls, which will be pushing. The first question in the poll is already alive, where we are asking for where you're joining from. So you could just go and answer that poll if you will, please. So that's the presentation. So I'm going to just stop sharing now and okay, and off to Karthik. So Karthik, over to you. It's 8:13 right now, so I'll give you time until say 8:30, 8:35, just to talk about your life's journey before CEG or from CEG, whenever you want to start up till now. The focus should be more on learnings, experiences that you would like to share that could be helpful for other alumni, startups, students, entrepreneurs, etc. All that. And at the end of 8:30, 8:35, I'll just give you a tinkle so that you know the time is up, and then we'll go to the Q&A after that.
Thank you, Vish. Thank you, Vish, Jaitesh, and Partha for running this, and thank you for inviting me here. So I think we've been trying to do this for a couple of weeks here and there when Vish had just first reached out, and thankful that we were able to do it this time around. I don't remember the last time when somebody asked me to speak about myself for 20 minutes. Quite a pressure, but I'll see what's to be done there. But okay, so the first reaction whenever I see the CEG front facade and the red building photo go up, my hand automatically goes up, and it has always been a symbol of it's a temple for me in that sense. And whenever I pass through that road, the Sardar Patel Road, I pay my due respects there. So it is a place of honor to be associated. In fact, that's where I met my best of my friends and uh, very sharp minds as well. Right. But I, since you had asked, I think there are some three, four stories which I wanted to bind together. Interestingly, our year 2002. So this was the year. I'm not sure the age of the audience, but the U.S. elections had just happened in 2000. There was a dot-com bust, and people were like, which course would do better, and how would it come through, and all of that. So I did my schooling completely in Chennai, in Ambattur, suburb of Chennai, and my inspiration and my first hero was always my dad. He incidentally went to MIT, Madras Institute of Technology, as a production engineer, and since then I had always wanted to pursue engineering, and Anna University was my dream from then on. And during the single win, there used to be, I don't know how it happens now, I'm not very sure. So there is a single window system where you could the counseling session where you could go and pick and choose. You'll have to give three ratings of which course you would want to choose. I had I think that was the year, so computer science wasn't picking up as much, and my first was ECE, and second I had kept as triply, and the third option I had incidentally given REC EC, right? And when mine was, I think, the first day, the last session or something. So the EC was almost done, and so it was a toss up between REC and REC EC and CEG triply. My dad had still asked at that particular time, do you still want to consider, because RSC is there. It will be a national level institute soon. It was it then in our year 2002 is when RSC was converted to NIT. It's like you'll get a national exposure. Think about it. Well known. It's like University has always been the dream. So that's what I'll do. And I was very confident. Logged it then and there. Got through. And I'm thankful for that one moment, so to say. I think life could have been very different if the button option had been different. And I think I saw a couple of names also join in. Ours was the only batch where there were about 100 odd guys in Tripoli. The senior batch was 60 strong, and the junior batch was also around 65, 70 strong. So I think it was a system glitch and a stroke of luck to get into CEG. So that was one interesting phenomenon. But that being said, I even though I was in Chennai, I did my dad forced me to stay in hostel so that I know to live myself independently and try how and let things go. But I can, I think I've since then done my MBA, worked across the globe and multiple companies in multiple places. But the brightest of minds I've met in CG. In fact, the caliber and that I think was the biggest shaping period of my entire journey, I could say. Uh, the I think there was something right about the whole sorting system at that point in time, where it brought out the best students from the state and across a couple of states also into one single hot pot. And those 4 years I learned more from my peers and friends, and I've made lifelong friendships from then on. So I think towards the end of I think third year itself, towards the end of third year, placements had started. I had initially scored a job with Infosys, and I had decided I'll not do pursue masters in engineering. Which later on I realized could have been a mistake. I ensured my brother didn't do the same. He also went to CEG. My younger brother, he's 6 years younger to me, so he's CEG 2012 EC. And then I did. Took a couple of shots at CAT, and but till then I worked in Oracle. But one defining additional point was I was part of the NCC Navy. I think it was the only naval technical unit, and I think it still is the only two naval technical units in India. And that was a ball of a time. I was there till for the whole 3 years, and waking up at 7, doing the entire drill, and it kind of put a what to say sense of drill. I think Vikram was also there in NCC Navy. I see him say thumbs up round. So yeah, so that was really what to say in terms of enforcing the discipline which was needed. Waking up early, showing up on time, being there in white and white for what to say hostel dwelling kid, having white spotless clothes with well pressed and turning up on time, clean shaven. That was all the drill, and that really helped me put something. So because I'd always peg myself as just about average in terms of intelligence and intellect, but slightly above average in terms of discipline. And I think Navy reinforced NCC Navy kind of reinforced that in me. Um, and There on with a couple of other classmates, I used to go to CAT classes. I still remember the mess food. In fact, I was just telling it to my father-in-law the other day. I don't know how the food is right now, but they used to make fantastic dosa and vadakari on Sunday mornings, and we used to go late to the CAT class just because of that one aspect. It used to be huge, crispy, soft dosas with vadakari. That used to be my weakness all through and through. And from there, CAT, and then I worked for 3 years with Oracle India Consulting here in Bangalore. So that's the first time I moved out of Chennai. My schooling was in Chennai, engineering was in Chennai. A couple of camps we did outside, but other than that, I've never lived outside of Chennai since then. Um, the 3 years in Oracle, it was engineering, it was software development largely, but CG, it was completely new in terms of what I learned and what I had to do. But I was one of the top performing employees there. I really liked the culture and the freedom it gave for me to work across projects. But I always knew that wouldn't be my calling. I was, I think, around the third year, I did clear out CAT. In fact, I had given CAT multiple times. I had received only one call, solitary call. I am Lucknow. I remember giving it in Bangalore, and the the topic of GD and interview I still remember was if you need peace, you have to prepare for war. So I think it just drew down, and I drew up on a lot of experiences from Chennai and CEG. In fact, the only qualifying question, only technical question they asked during the IIM Lucknow interview was, okay, you're from Chennai. Is there a water scarcity? And I said, yeah, it's always been a problem. So one of the professors then joked saying, okay, water all around, but you're not able to get water when you need it. And so he said, yeah, yeah. So the desalination plant has been there, but the costing hasn't worked out well as yet. And getting potable water from salt water, marine water has been a problem since then. So then, out of the blue, they asked me to explain reverse osmosis. This is an IIM Lucknow interview. I've spent 3 years with Oracle. I prepared everything. I had 4 years of top grade electrical electronics education, and they asked me about reverse osmosis. But thankfully, I was able to explain, and I think that's what landed my uh, I am convert. And then I remember having the discussion with my manager at Oracle, saying that I'm heading to IIM for uh, an MBA. He's like, why you doing very well here? We'll host you. You can, a couple of years you can do an MBA from the US through Oracle University itself and all of that. I said, I think that's all well and good. I think I've spent my time here. We want to do this on my own merit, and I want to do that. So that's how I am happened. And I am. This was Lucknow, and this was 2009, right after the global financial crisis, and one of the toughest years there was for MBA grads across. And when I went there, I think we went from interestingly, a couple of my classmates from batchmates from engineering also became my IIM classmates at Lucknow. So we went in on a train from Chennai to Lucknow. And I remember getting down in Lucknow. It was 49 degrees in the middle of June, and I was like, "How do anybody from north of India have the guts to call Chennai hot?" It's like just unbearable heat. And that's how it started, and extremely depressing winter right from then and there. But I did join the placement committee at IIM Lucknow. So I'm not sure how many people are aware. So Placecom is one of the toughest tasks which you get to do on campus. You get to place almost. So there were about 400 people in my senior batch and 400 in my batch, 380 in my batch, and around 420 in the junior batch. So it's a 2-year course. So you place your seniors and you place your juniors for the summer internship. So it was really hectic. There were 8 people in my team, and we placed the entire batch, inviting students and everything. And I learned a lot about managing options and managing people and managing emotions more than matters more in terms of running successful organizations, and how you tell the story and how you negotiate and convince. And you will have to interact with the HR executives from corporates and the what to say, the dreams and impulses of students also. And it's a packed 3-day process, 3 to 3.5 day process, where you have to run from morning 7 to night 11. You place the entire batch within that period, and it's quite an operational marvel, if you would call it. There used to be a whole control systems and charts and all of that. And so it was very interesting in that I did a lot more learning outside the classroom than in the classroom, but I did reasonably well in terms of grades. A promise which I made to my father, so I kept that true. So then I interned with Cadbury in the marketing domain. In fact, the Cadbury Shorts was the one which was getting launched then and there. So I did the market research for them at that point in time. But I didn't get a job offer with Cadbury, which I was very disappointed at that point in time. Then later on, scored a couple of job offers in the final. So I decided to join this consulting company called Headstrong. So they had global offices, and they were, in fact, the founding team of HCL had come out and started Headstrong, focusing on capital markets consulting. So that came through, and that was a great time. So I worked directly with the India managing director, and who used to be the grandson of Chaudhary Charan Singh. And I learned a lot about the entire P&L management, and how you read a profit and loss account, or how you read a balance sheet, and how it moves in real life, and how you affect fund flows through it came through. Then I did some time in Noida and then in Manila. That was about the time when I got married, and I decided I wanted to have some exposure with internet project product management, and not so much of enterprise. So I moved to redBus in Bangalore in 2015. So since then we've been in Bangalore. We have a dog, and we have 2 daughters right now, and so on that sense, personal life has been highly fulfilling. And 2017 December, around that time, my dad was retiring from Jindal, and one of my classmates from IIM Lucknow, his dad used to be with Kalpakam, so he was also retiring. So we decided we'll do some kind of a side project just to keep them active. And and I'm from Nagapattinam, that's a coastal town, and we thought we will set up a side business for our parents. And that's how we started. The company is called Days Catch. Chopserve is the brand, and we wanted to call it Catch of the Day. So we were procuring from Nagapattinam and Tuticorin, and then delivering to Chennai and in Bangalore. Then we realized there is a problem in terms of the entire seafood supply chain itself, and how this can be a lot more can be lot more involved and built in, and it's not something which you can lie down and do on the side. So then I decided. Before that, I had to ask my wife that we had just had our first daughter, and I think she was about 8 months in. Yeah, she was born in August 2017. Jan 2018, I go and tell her that okay, I'm deciding to start up and meat and seafood. She's like, yeah, go ahead. And she works with HSBC as a data scientist, decision scientist, which she keeps correcting. So she held fort, and thankfully that support has been there through and through. And I think if that discussion or that decision didn't happen, and I think I would have still been an employee. So that came through. That having that support from the family really helps. And I did. We did. I quit around April around this time. In fact, March 22nd is the day we registered Day Sketch 6 years ago, and since then I've been running it. And I thought I'll give it a shot. Let it run for about a year and a half, and see where it goes. We'll start off with B2B fish and seafood supply chain, and we did that for I think about 3-4 months. Then we realized uh, there were a lot of issues around managing the rejections. People would want exactly this spec in terms of fish, exactly 1 kg fish. Now, fish is caught wild from the sea. You can't ask the fish to go to exactly 1 kg, right? So the rejections were high. So we wanted to see how best to control. Then we realized we'll have to get to the customer directly. That's when we'll be able to build the entire supply chain through and through. And that's when Chopserve came into picture. We started our first store in Koramangala in 2018 in Koramangala, and this was somewhere around May. So by December, by slow and slow, by December itself, the store started turning profitable. But we wanted to scale further ahead, and by March 2020, we had, in fact, the 10th store. We opened on 20th of March 2020, and 22nd of March was Janata curfew, and then COVID hit. I spent more time in the police station than anywhere else, so I had to get the passes sorted and all of this. So I'll sorry. So while starting up is when I actually realized running a business is more about managing people and money more than anything else. The core aspect of business would have been probably let's say 10-20%, and the rest of it is on getting the company secured and how do you make payroll at the end of the month, right? So today we have about 600 people working under the brand of Chopserve across both India and UAE, where we are currently present. We just launched our operations in Bahrain as well. We'll be launching in Saudi, and as we speak we are partnering with a few more firms to try and expand this to Europe and US. And so it's been wildly fulfilling. I've had my moments, and I've had my challenges, but the interesting snippet which my CA told me the other day was when we registered this company in 2018. That week there were around 11 other companies which were done. So there are a dozen companies he registered on that day, and only three are still active today. And that month had around 30, of which around six are still active. So it's a 1 in a 5 shot. So about 20% success rate. So I'm grateful to have been there. So that's my quite a long answer to your highlight reel. I've
No, I think it's a good story. Obviously, we want all our guests to narrate the story with the right context. Is what you did exactly. So, couple of things I can tell you based on comparing your journey with mine. I also started an Oracle, by the way,
oh,
in the
nice.
US. In the US, I didn't actually go to work. The day I got the Oracle offer, I also got a job in American Airlines. So I ditched Oracle to go to American. At that time, Oracle was an unknown commodity. No one knew what Oracle was doing. And incidentally, my interview was actually taken by Larry Ellison himself.
Oh wow.
He interviewed me and he said, "I want you to join the company, etc." All that. They promised at that time good salary in California, plus stock options, plus a free MBA in Stanford University. And I said, no, sir, thank you, because I don't know what company you're doing. I don't know what Oracle is doing. This is 1990, right? Then Oracle was completely unknown
Wow.
commodity at the time. So life,
Good move, Vish. Good move.
so life went different direction. Obviously, still good, but different from what it was could have been. But I still remember Larry Ellison interviewing in the torn jeans shorts, used in a torn jeans shorts.
I think you must have triggered him the most, saying, I don't know what you're doing, what this company is. He must have been like, wait, I'll show you what I'm doing, what
And
my company is doing.
I actually asked him when I interviewed him, why did you interview? Because I didn't have a degree in computer science. I had a degree in operations research, which is not really what he was looking for. I said, why did you choose to interview me and hire me? He said, I looked at your grades in college and in grad school, and it was quite impressive. So I thought you had the potential to learn. And secondly, I did not want to hire a computer science person because I want you to be the number one employee number one for the Oracle consulting. And
Wow.
I didn't want a computer science person. I want someone who's not in computer science to be in that group to start thinking out of the box. But the number one employee didn't join, unfortunately. But Oracle Consulting. So that's the first thing I can share. Second thing is that Headstrong, one of my housemates used to run Headstrong, Puneet Pushkarna.
Oh yeah.
He was my housemate,
Yeah, yeah.
by the way.
Oh wow. What
Uh,
a small world.
yeah, we lived together in the US when we were doing grad school, and he was my very good friend. He's living in Singapore now and doing a lot of good stuff now. We're running a VC company, etc. I meet him
Yeah.
fairly regularly as well. So third thing, I do have two daughters and a cat, not a dog. So a lot of commonalities. So I can see the trend going on. So I think interesting story. Now, question for you is that you're in a very unique business, unusually unique business of selling fresh seafood and meat retail. I presume it's hybrid, both online and offline.
Yeah.
How does that work actually? How exactly does this work?
Actually, unique is actually a euphemistic term to call it. In fact, I don't think I would have gotten married if I told my father-in-law I'm in a meat business, right? So thankfully, I started after I got married. In fact, I do remember. I think even till about 6-7 months after I had started up, Dad would still say that, yeah, yeah, my son is still working as a director in redBus. So
Hmm.
he himself was a bit. I think now I think we have crossed the bridge. So
Hmm.
I think he's no. So basically, this is what triggered me. So I spent some time in Philippines, about a year and a half. Actually, I lived there
Hmm.
in Manila. And just after we got married, we were there for about a month and a half, and then we moved back to Delhi. And I've been so Sundays are usually meat and seafood days, right? And
Hmm.
in fact, the my brother is the seafood enthusiast more than me. He used to go to with my dad and pick out fish every Sunday. Dad goes, he's such a stickler. He goes to, he actually went out to Germany, got a surgical knife just to get his fish dressed and everything. So to that extent, but I was not too much bothered. But I started missing seafood when I was in Delhi, where you couldn't get, and we are 1,200 kilometers away from any coast. So it makes sense. But it was a toss of a coin, even in Bangalore, to get good quality seafood. And this is 2018. I'm talking about hardly any good meat and seafood shops, right? It was always a shunt category,
Hmm.
and compared to any of the rest of Europe, or let's say Southeast Asia, where this is front and center. This is a
Hmm.
core category,
Hmm.
and for something which is being consumed day in and day out, and 95 percent of Indian population eats meat and seafood, didn't make any sense, because the revolution which had come through in dairy and pulses and rest of the groceries did not show through in meat and seafood.
Hmm.
So wanted to do something on that space, and I wanted to really remove the taboo. In fact, the first landlord which we went and met, he said, "No, no, meat shop and all will not be able to give you a space." I said, "Boss, what are you talking about?" Then I said, "Boss, we are not. We've come here from a different background. I had to use my CEG and my IIM degrees to good use, and say that we have quit such well-paying jobs just to start a store, and I want it on the high street, right next to the Flipkart office. So I said I want it in this pin code. I don't care about the rent. This is where I'll start. So the adjacent property is given to one of Presto. It was a dry cleaning company. He said, no, the Dutch company is giving me so and so and this and why will you do all this? Then he realized, okay, these guys are up to something. Then we had to give a visual, actual, literal 3D mock-up, because there was no other reference for me to tell them that this is how the seafood, the store will look like. So I had to give a build up, and then finally they agreed. Okay, so the second store onwards got a little more easier. We could always come and say, "Was this is how I'm doing it? This is how I'll do," and so that's how it happened. So there was always this urge to say that this category will have to be more front and center, the same way it's been across the world, and have not having those many options seemed a little off to me, and I saw an opportunity and that I just took it. That's the way.
How does the sourcing work today? You actually source it from local area or outside somewhere?
Yeah, so for us, meat, seafood, and poultry. So we started as a with marine, right? So we basically see marine fish. So that happens from my hometown Nagapattinam and Tuticorin, and some from Kerala also. And we also added river water and aqua fisheries, which largely is from Nellore and Andhra Pradesh. And without poultry, you will not be able to run. But poultry is a solved problem in India. It has a clear supply chain, and you have chilled supply chain right through the storefront. So that comes from actually Coimbatore, from Mudumlaipet, for Bangalore and Kerala regions. And mutton, Bangalore is thankfully with 3-4 village hatchlets around, so it's a good sourcing. And from there on, we started. So now we have outlets in Goa, in Kerala. We have a couple in Chennai also. We took over the erstwhile Pipola ones.
Okay. Pipola is not there anymore. They went out of business, right?
No, Pipola and Tendercuts are not there anymore.
Licious also is gone, is it?
No, Licious is still there. Licious, they are still operating, I think. But we always believed omni-channel is the way to go. So we didn't want to change too many things at the given time. So we always have a storefront and storefront-based delivery. So that's how we roll, and that's how we get it.
So you are online and offline both in all cities?
Yes, in all cities. In fact, we launched around 2022 end. We launched in Dubai also. But we made a small pivot in terms of how we operate, because setting up a store alone costs a lot of money, and you'll have to recover the profits and then pay off. So the term which we keep calling return on capital employed was actually much lower for standalone stores. So we went to all the supermarkets, the top tier supermarkets, and told them, boss, you have 20,000 SKUs, 20,000 items you have to bother about. Fish and seafood and meat is critical everyday category which needs a specialist overview. We are the specialists, handed over to us. So today we run the shop in shop outlets for Spencer's, Moore, Spar, Nature's Basket. All of that in India is run by us. So out and out fully. So that meat and seafood section.
Under your brand or their brand?
In Nature's Basket, we don't run in our brand, but everywhere else we run it on our own brand. It's under Chopserve.
Okay.
In fact, we are just launching Spar in Chennai, near Velachery. So that will be under Chopserve brand as well. And in fact, we are taking over Spar Dubai also under the Chopserve brand name.
Interesting. Hitesh, you have any questions?
Yeah, so hi Karthik. First of all, I must say, great, inspiring story. Congratulations on all the success so far. It's always inspiring to see someone starting off and then having success. It gives great hope to everybody. So, I did a basic amount of research on Chopserve. So I'd like to know, from a founder's perspective, if you could share some light to everyone else here who might be wanting to start a startup on some of the technical aspects, like how your funding journey has been. Has it been bootstrapped? When did the first infusion happen? And I also found that Mimo had acquired Chopserve, but on some digging, I'm figuring out that Chopserve is actually doing more digital presence than Mimo. So I'm a little confused on what's happening there. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you could take us from bootstrapping all the way to here, how that happened.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, very interesting question. So starting up is one aspect, and you'll have to have both two things. One is you'll have to have an idea, and you'll have to have the caliber and capacity to execute it as well. I think that is the second most important thing. But thankfully, so our journey, I'll tell you. So what we did, I had initially worked for about 6 7 years across company. So I was with redBus, and redBus was taken over by Make My Trip, and so I had a bunch of Make My Trip stocks to fund my fund the initial one. But we did raise our friends and family round, and more than the money, it was a stamp of confidence on how the journey could start off with. And most of these were my classmates and hostelmates from CEG and or from IIM Lucknow or colleagues, right? So this is the ones which where we got off from. And then later on, we did get another tranche from IIM Lucknow Alumni Fund. In fact, we were the first ones, first startup to get funded after the initial fund was instituted. And so this memo was a development which came through. It was a premature news story which got published, so that news is false. We are operating as a separate entity as yet. We just didn't want to go out and correct it, so we just left it as is. So that's one. But on the funding aspect itself, right? So there are a couple of means and ways around it, but for us, thankfully, it's a more what to say straightforward play. So there is a store has a set of customers. You can see the product sales come through and move in. The books are easily accountable, and then from there on, it's an easier sell to show that show which way stores will go, what our plans are, and how do we execute it, right? But the most toughest aspect I actually came through in managing all of this in more than scoring funding, right? Is on managing the cash flows, right? You will have to time that. I think even with my MBA experience, with as much of profit and loss and balance sheet exposure, right? Cash flows, I think one aspect which keeps on, which not many people actually teach, and this is something which I had to learn the hard way. So you will have enough outstanding in the market. Technically, you will have the balance, but you'll have to pay your employees your pay on first of every month, right? So that managing the fund flow and the position is what is much more critical. So we had to divide up the aspects of the various company operations amongst ourselves. We had three co-founders. So myself, Ram, and Shankar were all three of us classmates from IIM Lucknow, and that's how we were able to split and cover. And we have been externally funded, and that's how we have grown through. But intrinsically, we are a EBITDA and cash flow positive business. So our burn hasn't been as much, and our growth has been since we pivoted to the shop in shop model, right? The outlay for capital initially isn't that demanding, so we are able to grow as well. So that's my short reel. I hope I answered your question.
But the shop and shop model would be relatively less margins compared to your own. You got to give a commission to them or a real estate premium to them, right?
Yeah, so the way it works, Vish, it's an interesting question. Is basically in a standalone store, you will have to. There are three problems. You will have to set the store up. You have to advertise and you have to acquire your customers, and then you'll have to run your operations, pay your rent and electricity and everything, right? In a shop and shop model, the way it works is there are a set of customers who already come into the store, and the store setup is already there, and we work on a revenue share basis, saying that your revenue is here. All we want to do is increase the contribution from meat and seafood coming in from this particular store, and leave it to the experts. We will run it for you. So in one stroke, we are cutting out the initial capex, and we also have variabilized our cost, which is basically instead of having rent and electricity, we have converted into a revenue share model. And margins will see, it's a commodity play, right? Meat and fish, there isn't so much of a branding aspect
Mm,
you will be able to do. It's about the experience and how you will
mm,
service the customer, right? So
mm,
there is only certain amount of premium you will be able to charge.
mm,
So it's in the operation, so you actually make more money in buying effectively and servicing effectively
mm, mm.
than in actually pricing it higher. So that way the margins are actually stable between all. It might change based on the locality of the store and on the tiering of the store. If it's a tier 1 store, if it's a slightly upgrade store, uh, it might change a little bit, but margins between standalone to shop and shop are pretty much the same. Between
Interesting.
India and Dubai, yes, Dubai is much more high margin, more premium, and higher frequency customers. So there it's a straightforward fit. And unlike in India, there are no standalone stores in UAE.
Okay.
And it's one of the four key categories, right? So every supermarket you walk to in GCC will have deli, which is cheese and the rest of it, and then it will have a bakery, it'll have butchery and fishery. So we run as a sole fish and seafood company in GCC. That's how we run it.
So US supermarkets are the same, right? They have deli section, then they have meat and poultry, and fresh meat and poultry is one of the big sections in all big grocery stores or department stores in the US. You said you're going to shortly launch in the US as well, shop and shop model.
So we are planning. See, the US actually it's a slightly dichotomous place. So unlike GCC was straightforward because a lot of Indians are there and they consume fresh seafood. US, there is a lot of frozen and you will have to service on the counter. So that's
Mm,
a study which we are still
mm,
doing. We'll have to crack the correct model. So
mm.
we'll have to tell them.
Super.
I
Ritesh.
kind of have a question from a little non-technical. I'm going through your life history here, and I was curious at these points, so I'm just going to voice them. First up, can you tell me the basic difference between a data scientist and a decision scientist? நான் இப்பதான் அந்த வார்த்தையை கேள்விப்படுறேன். I'm like, what? There's a decision scientist role. And second, I was very curious when you mentioned you need peace. If you want peace, you need to prepare for war. And you kind of said that's what I had answered and you moved on. I'm like, what did you answer? It's a very interesting question too.
Okay, so the difference between a data scientist and a decision scientist, I'm yet to learn, and I every day
I hope she's not
every
watching
day
this right now.
every day I keep hearing. So, but jokes apart, so it is not the analysis just on data alone. So this is actually she works for HSBC, but our team is basically based out of the Europe and UK markets. And so with the data, she helps model how let's say how probable is the client to default, or how probable are they to pay, and therefore what premiums you'll have to charge. So you'll have to help in taking decisions, and therefore it's more critical in terms of how you model it. So that's where decision scientist comes to be. In terms
Okay.
of the other question is actually very if you need peace, you have to prepare for war. So it was 2009, right? Yeah, so 2009, I think there was some conflict which had happened very recent at around that time. So everybody was focusing on that geopolitical conflict. I'm not very sure what it was. So, but what I had divvied up, I put it as personal, spiritual, physical, and corporate. So I said, no matter how you are, if you have to, if you have to fight against any illness or any fever, you'll have to always keep yourself fit. So that's preparing for war. So you'll have to strength is one way. And as a nation, we are surrounded by a lot more what to say encouraging neighbors, so you will have to show strength to just to maintain peace. So police always respond to strength,
Mm.
and so that was the short answer to the long one which I gave. And so from there on, it was I think that helped me I did my IIM, so I think the answer was okay.
So before you go to the next question, I think what I want to ask the audience is to open your video. You can take a screenshot, please. So all of you, can you please kindly open your video? And while you're doing that, we will continue with the questions. There are a couple of questions on the line that are come. Karthik, I want to see if people can ask those questions.
For sure.
The first question is from someone. What's been the most crucial factor that has helped you stay EBITDA positive? Whoever asked the question, can you please unmute and ask the question with the right context, please?
Karthik, that's actually me, Vikram here.
Hey, hi.
Hope you've been doing well. I just want to say I'm actually a department junior of Karthik's. Karthik's been a awesome senior to me in more ways than one. I was a junior in the NCC Navy as well. So, but Karthik, my question is, I mean, there are obviously very few, like you yourself said it, right? In 2018, you're on the goods, you're on the other side of the 20%, right? So what's been like the most crucial factor that has helped you stay, EBITDA positive? And I'll give you, Vish sir, where I'm coming from is I very recently worked in a fintech that is not EBITDA positive, right? We've been in the weeds and we've gone through, and I've got a few hypotheses on where we could have done better. But of course, I would love to pick Karthik's brains on, how it's worked for him and Chopserve.
Sure.
Hey. Hi Vikram, nice to see you, man. After a long time, actually. Yeah, but yeah. So the question is actually, I think the only thing my dad used to ask every second week he calls me is like, okay, ella seri, positive idea. That was that. That used to be his question. So, is it turning a profit as yet? So that's in fact. I had made a couple of mistakes early on, trying to see what is what, and I wanted to be everything to everybody. Anything meat and seafood, I wanted to be there. So hoteliers can come, B2B guys can come, caterers can come, anybody can come, whatever they want, they can buy. So I think that's the short way to fail fast, right? So we realized that quick enough, and we were able to correct it. And see, unlike others, where we actually wound up was, first thing is, for the first 3 years, I didn't draw any salary from the startup as is. In fact, 3 years. So and till now we maintained our lifestyle to an extent to be there, and being a middle class entrepreneur helps in that sense, and to see where to optimize, how to do, and every aspect we wanted to do, right? And so what we did was, because it was a store level basis, we wanted the store to make money, right? And from that you fund the next one, and to go through. Then we realized we can run it profitably, but we will not be able to run it at scale. And this thing came in much later. That's why we pivoted to our biggest cost item, which is in actually setting up that store. So we said we will do it through franchise models, but that is still somebody else is doing. We'll have to pay a capital cost on that. That's when we pivoted to the shop and shop model, right? And from there on is when we were able to grow much faster, because we have all the expertise and we were able to put in the time. But beyond all of that, right, the one thing which helped us stay positive is, this is akin to the barber in any place, right? You will have your preferences. You will want your barber. You will want his way of cutting. So same thing applies to your butcher also. So you will want. We used to pay them, and our attrition for at a butcher level has been very low. To the extent now we have initiated an entire academy called Chop Experts Academy. And I went one step ahead and learned some from Asian Paint. So we now have a insurance policy which covers the butcher, his or her spouse, plus their kids, plus their parents, plus in-laws. So 1+7 in terms of insurance policy, it's unheard of for this particular category, right? There is ESA and PA which do. So that makes them stick with us, and our growth and our profitability has come from there. The face on the ground and the people through whom the brand is convinced to convey to the customer, right? So they were the ones who were able to convert each and everything to make it positive, and we were able to run a very tight ship in terms of how we run the operations, and we keep iterating again and again and again and again. So every store is a new one for us. So that's how.
So I think one thing I will tell you, Karthik, is that there are a few other CG entrepreneurs who are doing hybrid model, pure online model for perishable commodities, not meat, but groceries, fruits, etc., vegetables, etc. Would you be willing to help them by giving some time to mentor them or help them, etc.? Because this is an area where you've gone through the learnings, where you've gone through how to set up, how to deal with all the uncertainties, risks, etc., all that. And it's obviously a perishable commodity, which if we don't sell it, it goes waste, right? So there are people who are doing that. So if you're willing, I'll connect you to some of the people who are working on this area who could probably get some guidance from you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Always happy to help. In fact, the other joke which I keep telling people is that how did you move from redBus to meat and fish? So I tell them even in redBus it was perishable unit. You have to sell the bus ticket
Correct.
before the bus. Back to
Exactly.
this.
I could tell that similar because I used to work in the airline industry and it's the same
Of course,
thing.
right. Same
Uh,
there, yeah.
we call it butts on seats. No butt on seat, it's zero value to us,
Yeah,
right? Cool.
same.
Next question in the line. Let me ask that. Next question is: can you shed some light on your data collection and monetization strategy? Whoever asked the question, can you please unmute and give us some more data?
Karthik, that was also from me.
Ah, okay.
You know, I mean, I, I, I used to work for Mu Sigma back in the day, right?
Ah,
And
Yeah.
I've worked on both retail accounts and banking accounts, and it's a sea of data, right? So I just wanted to pick your brains on how you've been going about it, how you plan to go about
good
it,
question.
just in general.
Good question.
Yeah, actually, very interesting question. So, there are two aspects where my engineering background helped me run Chopserve. So, first thing is we got the store. It was a warm shell. They were just constructing the building at that time, and so I had to sit with the ED, got the CAD diagram. We put all the pillaging. Said this is how the production side will be. This is how the customer area will be. All of that had done. They got all the glass fittings, frame, and everything. Then I realized the toilet which was actually built was 1 feet smaller than what is there in the diagram. So then they had to sit and fix the. There is still a dent in, and they had to do, and we had to redo, and it had to do all of that. The other thing is, for us, it's actually a very interesting problem. In fact, I am. This I'll tell you. Unlike others, right? For us, it was we sell in one quantity and we buy in one quantity and we buy in one unit and sell in others, and we sell by weight. So I'll buy the whole mutton carcass. Sorry to gross out all the vegetarians, but I'll tell you how the math works. So we buy as a whole carcass, and then somebody would ask for a curry cut, somebody will ask for a keema, all of that, right? So it changes shape, and you will have to account for the yield at each and every aspect. I couldn't find a single billing system which was able to do this. Buy in one and sell in other. And for me, I sell by weight. I don't sell one unit. I sell by 1.1 kilo or 0.9697 kilos, or the grammage differs, right? I sell by weight, and I sell online and offline. Whatever is there in the store has to reflect outside as well. So to get this the point of sale system to be active itself was a problem. In fact, I had to go all the way. We found a company in New Zealand, and they were charging $50 per store per month. And okay, so that was the first one which we started off, and then we had a Shopify integration, and then got it going. Then we now today we run our own. We've taken an open source code and we run our own POS. And to the extent that we are able to, we know how when a customer has bought what and what is the typical cohort. Is he does he prefer goat or does he prefer lamb? Does he prefer Bengal aqua food or marine food? What are the typical criteria? I mean, what are the typical mixes which you do? And based on which we have created a loyalty program called the Meat Lovers Club, and then we give them promotions and offers
Oh,
and all
wow.
of that around it.
Interesting. Interesting.
But this has predominantly been how, so a new user versus an old user. So new user buys 2.5 times in a month. Sorry, 1.5 times in a month. An existing user buys 3.5 times. How do you increase the average bill value for a customer, what is the typical promo you run, and how do you contribute to that. As this, I don't monetize this elsewhere outside of the business ecosystem. We don't sell data to anybody else, but within our ecosystem, this is how we do. We either increase the bill value or we increase the repeats, and we reduce the attrition. So that's how we'll have to keep going. And in that sense, so from day one, I have the customer data and customer numbers has already been there. So in fact, the other day I was doing, we have done about 12.4 crores of bills till date. Those many data points I have, and for me to crunch, it's no more an Excel exercise. So we put it on an AWS form, and then we build it out and we build our cohorts. So there at least engineering has does come through. So I've been able to sell.
So that many transactions really.
Yeah, so it's a high transaction and a high frequency, high transaction system, but low bill value, $500 bucks. But you'll have to build that around.
And you also capture customer data in that, some customer data in that.
Yeah. So we take phone numbers for all the customers if they prefer to give it, and most of them do because we have a loyalty program attached with it, and therefore it comes.
Because the reason I'm asking is that Swiggy and Zomato at the end of the year put out statistics saying what is the most ordered item and what people prefer. Of course, biryani leads by a margin, a wide margin over everything else after that.
Yeah.
But they're using customer data for that. So I presume you can do the same thing with.
Yeah. So my actually data cohorts are so different. So between 3 streets ahead, so we have 2 stores which is 5 kilometers apart. The entire product mix changes. So one will is Malayali Muslim community. They'll have a lot more of sheep eaters, lamb eaters compared to goat. The other is a Bengali community or Tamilian community.
Oh, wow.
They'll only goat. So 92. So you'll have to ensure the goat mix to lamb mix, and then seafood too, all of that. Yeah, so it's a different game. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, good. Thanks. Next question is also from anonymous. Did you have a plan A and plan B as well? Did you use technology, web or mobile presence early, or waited until product market fit? Who asked the question? Can you please ask the question? Its context.
Yeah, that's me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Kumar, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. It is very interesting. One of the big dilemmas I have is like, you are an expert in one field after some time, like say Oracle database, and then you move into different areas, right? So um, I'm I'm really sometimes, people ask like, oh, how you develop expertise in a different area. So was it like calling that you had and you started with this and you also had a plan B, or is it like you are very sure like this is what you want to do, and like you had more insights in this than anything else at that point that you wanted to start with this?
Actually, this an excellent question. I keep thinking about that once in a while when I introspect and when I do my journaling. See, to I can say I think I've done so many plans over the past. I think ever since engineering, and one thing is very clear: none of my plans have worked out, right? And I always have to. I think it's just the way the plan it rolls, and it's good on Excel. I can extend and show and everything, but what works out in reality is entirely different. To what so I didn't have a concrete plan per se. So in fact, I did not want to start a store at all. I wanted to do only B2B trading, very low capex investment and trade, and then double down on it. But I saw I couldn't find a fit, like you said, right? I couldn't find the product market fit. I wasn't able to find a paying customer for my high quality fish. So I said I'll be my own customer, and then I wanted to build out a store. So that's how the story itself came. In fact, even the name Chopserve, right? I wanted to call it Catch of the Day, and catchoftheday.com was there was somebody who was squatting on that site. They were not doing any transaction. I wrote to them and he said, "Give me $100,000." I said, "Boss, if I have $100,000, I will spend it on the site." So then I said, okay, chopserve.com is available. Let's take this. Okay, that's it. They will name the company chopserve.com. So that's how it came through. I for as much of market research which is taught and identifying everything, right? Sometimes you'll have to work with the hand you're dealt, and that was one of those. And so as and when, see, I never thought I would run it for 6 years. I never thought I would run it in this form. I never thought I'd go to Dubai and set up and I'll have 100 stores. I never thought that. I thought I'll be a 20 store business, and then I'll come back into corporate life, or I'll do my next startup. But it just worked out this way. Yeah.
Super. Excellent.
Thank you.
So I think all the questions are completed in the line. Few things I want to mention before we finish the session. Thank you so much for the time, Karthik. I think it was quite interesting. You run a business which is very different from other businesses I have seen. So a lot of things to find new and learn. Thank you so much. There are other people who are also running perishable commodity businesses online, and so maybe they can get help with you. I actually added you to a WhatsApp group, which you are not there in that list, called CEG Startups and Innovators.
Yeah,
I put you in the group because that's a group of all CEGs who are running startups or running businesses, etc. All that. You could just introduce yourself, just people know who you are, and people can connect with you.
Sure.
The second thing is, in CEG we also have an angel group in the US.
Wonderful.
About 50 plus people from CEG have started a group in the US. We fund startups predominantly in the US, but also fund startups in India as well. We've done about 20 plus investments so far in the last 4 years. So since you are an entrepreneur, you're a startup founder, if you are ever thinking of funding someone, you could join the club and help other entrepreneurs to get funding through the network. Or if you're looking for funding, you can come to us. We can try and connect you to some VCs who could, we can obviously fund, our ticket sizes are fairly low because we're an angel network, but we do have work with other VC firms on a syndicated basis to get you thing also. So we can do that. But if you could join the angel group, you could contribute by funding to other angels. So if you're interested, let me know. We can discuss how to get you onto this program, etc. All that. And the last thing is mentoring, as I mentioned to you, that we do have students and alumni who are always looking for good mentors, and I'll try and see if someone is in a similar business, they can probably get some help from me also.
That I'm always open. Like I said, a lot of inputs have come through from my classmates, and that community is what helped shape what is what today. And always happy to contribute and help wherever I can.
Excellent. Any other questions, guys? Audience, anything else you want to ask? Rajesh, you have a question?
Hey, hi Karthik.
Hi Rajesh. I didn't realize it. So the reason I'm laughing is Rajesh is actually my neighbor.
Your neighbor? He's also a big fitness enthusiast. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, so
Karthik is too. Karthik is a runner.
You run long distance?
Yeah, so I see him on my morning beat. So I do one full marathon a year. So I see Rajesh also running around.
You also have a guy called Murli who's in the call now. He runs a WhatsApp group called CEG Outdoors.
Nice.
And we have a bunch of people who talk about their escapades and outdoor escapades, what they do on the weekend, weekdays. We have quite a lot of marathon runners, by the way.
It's kind of an interesting coincidence. Sorry, wish to introduce. So Rajesh sent me a note. Hey, I'm meeting Karthik. I'm like, huh? Rajesh hasn't been to this CEG meetups and whatnot. I was like, what? By the way, Rajesh and I are classmates from Gindi. Wow. So I've been to your Prestige Greenwoods, stayed there a bunch of times. And, I've run the Nama Bangalore run in Bangalore.
What a small world.
It's amazing. I'm glad to see, we call him RB. So RB is, in this call as well. So, by the way, Karthik, fantastic job. I know there's always a good thing to have a plan, but a plan to adapt is a plan too. Right? So you've been adapting quite well and done really amazing work. I'm super impressed and happy to, have this opportunity to learn from you. And I'm sure the community as a whole as well, right? Which has been fabulous, bringing some amazing speakers, and glad to really hear this story. So thank you.
Yeah. So Murli is based in Seattle, runs a startup there in Seattle, along with the CEGN. Co-founder is also a CEGN.
Oh, nice. My brother is in, I think, Varun. I think he's also on the call. So he is based out of, I always get this wrong, San Jose. No, somewhere there. So he's based out of California, and he's with eBay, and
Ah,
they are there. So
eBay.
yeah, so he did the CGC and then Florida Gainesville, and in fact, Rajesh is a big photo and birder. So my wife is actually, she knows all the species of butterflies and birds, and I've seen them discussing all of this then there. And usually the birds I like are cooked to perfection. So that's a different kind of.
So
We can
Rajesh,
we
so,
conserve birds and then
yeah. So Rajesh, Murli, myself, Girish, we all run marathons as well.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay.
Various parts of the world, obviously. So Murli and I ran one last year in June in Chennai. In Chennai. July in Chennai.
Oh, wow.
And of course I do at least I do 2 or 3 half marathons a year in Chennai.
Oh, very nice.
Rajesh like puts his posts on what he's doing every day, makes us feel that we are not doing anything. So he really drives us to do more things to keep up with him.
Yeah.
And there are others too in the group, in the CG outdoor group, who frequently post what they're doing in terms of how much distance they covered. It's not just running, biking, hiking, cycling, swimming, any activity outdoors. And lots of
Okay.
photos are posted there and that. So you should try and get into the. If you're still outdoors person, you can get into the group and join the gang.
Sure,
Yeah,
for sure. Very
join the
interesting.
gang. Yeah.
and Karthik, my brother is also from CEG,
Wow, what a small
another
world.
apartment mate.
Oh wow.
Very
We all
nice.
stay in the same apartment.
Oh wow. Interesting.
You
Anyway,
guys are in Maple? Sorry, which apartment is it? Maple or
He's in Pine. Karthik is in
Pine?
Pine.
Okay,
Yeah.
pretty close.
It's the 3 names. Okay. Super. Any other questions, guys? Or we can close. It's already 9:15 p.m. So you're already 15 minutes over. But it was a good conversation, so we didn't want to interrupt it. Thank you, Karthik, for your time. Interesting. As it's, all our speakers have done a great job, and so I'm happy that the 32nd speaker has done as good or better job than 31 speakers before them. So lovely. Please do tell about. We'll actually Jaitesh will put a little LinkedIn post about this program. Also, he always shares some tidbits from each program in LinkedIn. Please let all other CG buddies to also join this program. And if you have any other speaker who you think could be a good addition to a speaker list that from your batch, please do let me know so I can reach out to them and put them in my list as well. There is a guy called Shankar Shivan. He also did IIM Lucknow. He said he started the angel fund in IIM Lucknow. He's also a CG alum. Do you know him?
Shankar Shivan 2005 batch.
I don't know which batch he is actually, to be honest.
No,
but
that is Shankar Satyaraman. I'm not
he's
sure.
from IIM Lucknow.
Okay.
And he runs a solar power VC fund.
Okay. Not
Right
sure.
now.
So must be ahead of mine.
Yeah, and he's the one who did.
IIM Lucknow is very famous these days. Actually, okay. So on that note, I should say Annamalai was a year ahead of me in IIM Lucknow. In fact, when I opened my first store in Koramangala, he was DCP South Bangalore. So in fact, he came for the inauguration, and a lot of crowd came. I didn't know if it was for him or for the meet, but we had a good business. But yeah, he's been in touch.
Yeah, we have quite a few from IIM Lucknow, CEG from IIM Lucknow. One of the couple of people who are running this Ninja Kart company, one of them is from IIM Lucknow as well.
No, so the founder Thiru is from CEG. KK is also from CEG.
CEG, but I think a couple of the other people in this management team.
Nopur is from IIM. Yeah, so a couple of guys from IIM Lucknow.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So IIM Lucknow, we seem to have a lot of presence in IIM Lucknow from CEG.
Yeah.
Which is good. Which is good. Thanks for your time. And of course, guys, if you have any feedback, anything about the program, please do send us the feedback, either via WhatsApp to me or to the group.
There is a raise hand there. Do you want to ask?
Oh, okay. Tamil Selvi, you have a question, ma'am? Not sure. Okay.
That happens to be my mother-in-law. I think it's by mistake.
Oh, okay, maybe. Okay. Okay, fine. Super. Thank you so much, Karthik. Thanks, guys. We'll meet next month. Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye. Thank you.